this is example number 6 of the 10A notes. So let's just get going. We've gone through several examples already. And we know that right away we want to label our sides. And when we're labeling our sides, we're remembering that the two sides that make up our right angle in our right triangle, we call those legs. So there's a leg there and a leg here. These are the two sides that make up our right angle. And that third side, opposite our right angle, the long diagonal, we call that the hypotenuse. Okay? And whenever we're doing these types of problems, you always want to take a minute and identify your missing side. Okay? We've got a value for our hypotenuse. We have one for one of our legs. The other value for the other leg we don't have, so we've assigned the variable x to that leg. Okay? And since the missing side is a leg, we want to just go ahead and fill that in on the left side. Okay? Because the legs go on the left side. The other value is this root 63. Those are the values for our legs. Okay, leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. The value for our hypotenuse is 12. Okay, and this is the way you always want to do these types of problems in 10A where you're asked to find the missing side length. Of course, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and square all of our terms. X squared plus, now here again, when we square a square root, that square is just going to counter that root. They undo each other. So it'll leave us with 63 when we square it. Okay? When we square 12, that's going to give us 144. 12 times 12 is 144. Now we want to get x by itself. So we have to do the opposite of what's being done to it. So we'll subtract 63, always from both sides. 63 minus 63 is just going to be 0. So we'll have x squared on the left equals, and then what's 144 minus 63? Well, we're going to just bring up our calculator. You guys, when you're doing these, don't feel like you have to do it in your mind. In fact, a lot of the times, you really should just be focusing on the math that you're learning, okay? And just grab a little simple calculator to work this kind of arithmetic, okay? Just so that you can go and double check to make sure that you've got those correct numbers when you're adding or subtracting. Okay, so now what we have is x squared equals 81. Now back to the calculator, whenever you have an x squared equals, it's oftentimes helpful to just plug it in and see if the square root is a whole number. The other thing that's really helpful is to memorize those perfect squares so that you can kind of just know that 81 is a perfect square. And when we did it on the calculator, we took the square root of 81, it gave us 9. And since that's a whole number, we can just indicate that x, we're obviously taking the square root of both sides, okay? So that means x is equal to 9. The length of that missing leg is 9. Okay, thanks for watching, guys.